Looking to diversify your business portfolio with a high-growth opportunity? Discover Mathnasium Learning Centers, the #1 math-only education franchise. For more than 20 years, Mathnasium has triumphed in a booming multi-billion-dollar tutoring industry with over 1,200 centers worldwide. Ranked on Entrepreneur's Franchise 500 list for 11 consecutive years, Mathnasium is low-cost, recession-resistant, and offers significant growth potential in an expanding market. The demand for math education is skyrocketing, driven by declining math scores and the growing need for STEM skills in today's workforce. What makes Mathnasium a smart investment? Affordable entry point and quick build-out time. High-earning centers with 7-figure annual revenue, industry-leading 30% plus average profit margins, and it's a trusted brand with high consumer satisfaction scores. And here's something extra. They're offering a 25% discount on the franchise fee for former teachers and veterans. So whether you're expanding your franchise portfolio or making your first investment, Mathnasium gives you the systems and support you need to succeed. Get your free franchise information kit at mathnasiumfranchise.com or call 888-763-2604. That's mathnasiumfranchise.com or call 888-763-2604.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Hey there, Dan Bova here, writer and editor at Entrepreneur.com. So, as you may know by now, every week on our show, How Success Happens, I talk with business leaders, creators, writers, chefs, people who are doing awesome things. And for this snack size series, we're digging back into the archives of some conversations I've had in the past, and we are pouring ourselves a nice shot of inspiration. So, as you're about to learn, that was a very clever analogy, because this week I dug up an interview I did with Glenn Howerton, one of the stars and creators of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which, as you may know, takes place in a god-awful bar called Patty's Pub. I spoke with Glenn because he and his Always Sunny co-creators, Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day, had just released their very real Four Walls whiskey. And since Always Sunny is celebrating its 20th anniversary, it is the longest-running live-action sitcom in U.S. TV history, by the way. I thought we'd relive that convo, which also included Four Walls Whiskey CEO Casey McGrath. Now, you'll have to forgive the quality you're about to experience. This was just recorded as an interview for an article, so the quality isn't as perfect as you might hope, and also you're going to have to hear me loudly cackling throughout, so apologies for that. Okay, so moving on to the interview. Now, given that there was an Always Sunny episode entitled Celebrity Booze, the Ultimate Cash Grab, I asked Glenn just how involved they really were in the creation of Four Walls.
Yeah, a lot of tastings. But that was the best part. That was the fun part. Yeah, I was just doing tasting all these different blends. I mean, obviously we had a master blender that we were working with, so everything that we got sent was going to be in the wheelhouse. It was going to be good. It was, it kind of came down to a little bit of personal preference, and then of course eventually testing out our personal preferences with some influential bartenders to make sure that we were right on the same page as them, because we knew very early on that we wanted our focus to be on the bartenders. We wanted, it started as a sort of a celebration of the 15th record breaking season of It's Always Sunny. And the fact that the bar and the fact that we play bartenders played such a crucial role the real bars and bartenders played such a crucial role in the building of our show that we wanted to do something to celebrate them. So, putting the heavy focus on them, we wanted to make sure that it was a blend that they liked too. But I did put a particular amount of emphasis on my own, simply because, and I know that, it's weird because I'm by no means a whiskey expert, by no means.
Yeah.
But I do know what I like, and neither was I a comedy expert when we started doing It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But I knew what I liked. We knew what we liked, and we've always sort of followed this credo of like, let's make something that we would do, that we would watch. Let's make something that we would. Let's follow that and see where that takes it. And so far, anytime we've done that and really stayed authentic to like what our own preferences are in these categories, it's been successful.
Successful indeed. Just to recap, as I mentioned at the top, Always Sunny is the longest running live sitcom in TV history. Not too shabby. Now, for better or for worse, we know that a lot of a brand's success depends on its name. So I asked Glenn how they arrived at 4 Walls. And he explained it's really all about celebrating the place where they would most like you to consume this product, meaning in a bar, a place with 4 walls. Here's why.
Coming out of the pandemic, it was really important for us to celebrate physical spaces in a virtual world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was time for people to get back out into the world.
Yeah.
And, see each other, look each other in the eye and shake each other's hands and give those warm hugs.
Yeah.
That honestly, I know for myself, like I really missed that. And I don't even know that I realized how much I missed it until we came out of the pandemic. And I, realized how socially awkward I'd become. And, like forgotten how to have like a human and actual.
Right.
So it felt like a really important time to celebrate a physical space that I think really does bring a lot of people together. And a lot of people from different cultures and different backgrounds all come together and leave all the bullshit outside when they come to a bar. And, so
that's great.
When we really started leaning into that, it felt like we were doing something really special and good and meaningful. I don't know. I mean, I don't mean to speak about the importance of like a whiskey brand, but
get emotional.
Well, it does actually, look, I mean, it's easy for me to get emotional about this, joking aside, because I so many of my formative years in my 20s and 30s were spent in bars drinking Irish whiskey with my friends and, doing a beer and a shot and having some of the best times of my life. The fact that we can contribute to that for other people now it does make me emotional.
And we're working these guys to the bone, dragging them all over. You can see on the socials all the trips they're doing. And sometimes you got to take exhausted Glenn and drag him kicking and screaming to another city to go do stuff like that. But once he gets in the bar, you got to drag him out.
True. It's true. Actually, our head of sales, Andrew Breimer, he kind of had to have a little talk with me. He's like, you're like, you're telling me you're exhausted, but then I take you to these places and I can't get you to leave.
That's awesome.
Fun.
Passion, something you care about, pretty good ingredients for a nice big bottle of success. You can read the rest of this interview over on entrepreneur.com. Just do a quick search for Glenn Howerton and it'll pop up. You'll learn the other name 4 Walls was almost called, which is the almost sunniest name imaginable. All right, well, that is all for this snack. Hope Glenn inspires you to do something with a bigger meaning, like subscribing to our show and leaving us a comment. And you can email me at howsuccesshappens@entrepreneur.com. Let me know what you love about our show, what you don't love about our show, what you'd love us to dig into more. Tell me your favorite whiskey, whatever it is that you want to get off your chest. Hit me up there. howsuccesshappens@entrepreneur.com. All right, that's it for this snack. See you next episode.